On Tuesday, what many of us journalists had been hearing for weeks came to fruition. Conrad Sangma, the leader of the NPP, shared a dais with Mmhonlumo Kikon from Nagaland. Remember, here's the former BJP national spokesperson, Daniel Langthasa from Assam, and the royal scion of Tripura, Pradyot Deb Barma, at the Constitution Club of India in New Delhi. They announced a platform for coming together of like-minded leaders from the Northeast to share a vision.
We are all one here. We all have similar problems. We all have similar challenges. And I think that if we have to speak for a region, then we should all shed our personal ambitions and egos and come together for the sake of our people, our communities, and speak as one singular political entity.
Now, as someone who has spent half his life highlighting all that is wrong with the Northeast, and believe me, there's a lot, I see this as a welcome opportunity. Any attempt to strengthen the voice of the Northeast at all levels is a welcome attempt. I'm glad that leaders from all these states are coming together to start work towards giving the Northeast a strong, unified voice. Now, that sounds great. Now, the questions that arises is that I thought NPP was already meant to do that. Have I missed something here? The NPP is, as of today, the only regional national party in the Northeast. It has a government in Meghalaya, as most of you know, and it has contested seats in Manipur and has fielded candidates in other states too. The press conference made it quite clear that leaders like Kikon, Pradyot and Daniel are not joining the NPP. They'll form a committee and later take a decision whether they are to set up a new party, a new entity. For now, it's a coalition, if I may say so, and it's meant to be just that, a coalition of sorts, at least for now. Now that begs the question of what shape this initiative will take in the coming days, something I and a million others look forward to because we care about the Northeast. While the leaders did talk about being united, being one, and bringing together the region's indigenous people, the truth is that things are rarely this simple, easy, or straightforward in the Northeast. And as everybody would know, this is true about our region. Nothing is straightforward. Remember the time when the entire region was under the Congress? Now, did that unite us all? The answer is a big no. The BJP at the time of recording this editorial today is in power in Manipur, Assam, Arunachal, and Tripura, and is in alliance in Meghalaya, Sikkim, and Nagaland. Now, has that brought our region together? Again, the answer is no. I mean, and this may sound rude to some of you, but the BJP in 2 years has barely managed to get its own MLAs together in a state like Manipur. They have not sat together despite all the violence and so many people being killed there. So while the talk of indigenous unity is all well and good, the truth is, as always, very different. Please note, I am not calling the new alliance a failure because A, it is not. B, I checked last that I'm not an idiot. And C, in a democracy, we are taught to place faith in our leaders. So, I will do so. But allow me to add that merely calling for unity among indigenous communities is not going to do much because it is not meant to do much. Manipur is not the only example. Take the Assam-Meghalaya border, which recently made headlines after tensions at the border led to curfews. Both communities, the Karbis and Panars, as far as I can remember, are indigenous. But that did not stop them from clashing. Now, has indigeneity made it easier to solve the border issue? The answer is a big no. When Assam and Nagaland residents clash over border dispute, who is indigenous and who is not? There are plenty of such examples, and I can go on and on. And again, please remember, I am not calling indigeneity unimportant. I'm merely pointing out that indigeneity is one factor and not the only factor. We also know that stronger laws meant to protect the indigenous people rarely ever manage to do that. Look at Dimahaso, where Daniel Langthasa is from. What lessons did we learn from the devastating floods 3 years ago? Has the presence of the sixth schedule ended illegal mining that is ravaging the district? No. Has the sixth schedule stopped mining and cement companies from trying to occupy 3,000 bigas of land and turn locals into cheap labor in the name of employment generation? Again, the answer is no. And of course, can there be a pan-Northeast conversation without talking about illegal immigration? Very, very unlikely. Of course, it did come up during the press conference.
Our challenges are not just within the country, but we also share a big boundary with neighboring countries. And I think that if we can come together, you will probably be able to understand and we will be able to articulate our views in a more cohesive manner.
But talking about it is one thing. It seems talking is the only thing we do about it. The BJP is in the power, the center and the state, and yet somehow illegal immigration is a big issue in 2025 as it was in 2014 when they came to power. In Hindi, there is a saying, "Hati ke daant dikhane ke aur khane ke aur," which roughly translates to the elephant has different teeth to show and different teeth to eat. It is for a perfect analogy for the BJP. Now watch the decoded episodes we recorded almost 2 years ago with the title, "Is Assam Becoming Manipur 2.0 and Why the BJP Does Not Want NRC in Tripura," to understand why ending illegal immigration is much easier said than done. I'll put the links in the comment section. The truth is, whether we like it or not, the rich and powerful stand to benefit the most from unregulated, undervalued, menial wage laborers. Since no one dares speak for them, the rich and powerful can do anything they want and no one will stop them. Walk around your state's capital, look at the people who are building the skyscrapers. Do you think they get a fair wage? That's my question to you. How do you plan to end illegal immigration exactly? Shoot at sight? Kill everyone from a certain community or religion? Unlikely, right? And if there is one thing that we have learned, it is that the laws are meant to protect indigenous people, and they remain so sadly only in theory. Maharaja Pradyot was there. Tripura has a huge illegal immigration issue that he and other leaders have been raising for decades now. But the center couldn't care less. Why? You know the answer. Such is the state of Tripura's indigenous people that even when their autonomous council passes a bill, they have to wait for years or decades to get approval. And most of the time, they do not get any approval at all. The wait continues. And in Assam, did the NRC make the lives of locals better? Is the issue settled for now? Are the locals happy? The answer is a huge no. States that have no ILP want ILP. States that have ILP want NRC. States that have NRC are not happy with the results. And Meghalaya, where the state assembly passed a resolution to implement the inner line permit, is still waiting for the center to accept it. And this is when the NPP and BJP are allies. I'm sorry if I sound pessimistic, but here are my final thoughts, so to speak. The Northeast needs to first understand and address the numerous internal conflicts that we face. This will not be easy, peaceful, or quick. But one reason why the center can afford to ignore us is precisely because it is aware that it takes little to make us fight against each other. I mean, look at the comment section of our videos on Muiva. You'd be convinced that Naga unity is a myth. And some even go to the extent of saying that Tangkuls are not even Nagas. Yes, what we need in the Northeast is yet another debate, yet another reason to be divided, right? I hope the initiative taken by Maharaja Pradyot, Conrad, Mmhonlumo Kikon, Daniel, and others is a success. Not because I have any political affinity with them, but because if they truly wish to speak for the region, they will have to spend considerable time sorting out our own differences, our state borders, our resources. Only then can we present a strong voice in unison. The center can ignore us because we speak for ourselves and never for each other. The day a Naga starts raising the issues of a Mizo and vice versa, when we acknowledge that merely being from our community does not mean they work for our interests, and the day we realize that democracy is a weapon, not a crutch. Trust me, this is the day the center will no longer ignore us. Until then, allow me to remain a little skeptical. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to East Mojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.